From Illinois Public Media, this is the 21st show. I'm Brian Mackey. Something a little different today. We're going to spend a big chunk of the program focusing on Illinois Democrats, who had the biggest day on their annual political calendar yesterday. That was Governor's Day at the Illinois State Fair, which includes a midday rally on the fairgrounds, and before that, a fundraising brunch in a convention center in downtown Springfield. Meanwhile, Illinois Republicans are gathering at the fair today. We'll bring you coverage of that on tomorrow's show. Okay, let's set the table. From their perspective, Democrats are doing great in Illinois. They hold the governor's mansion and all the statewide constitutional offices. They've got veto-proof majorities in the Illinois General Assembly. Both U.S. senators are Democrats, and so are 14 of our 17 members of Congress. And yet, nationally, Democrats have been struggling. Party members were stunned last year when Donald Trump not only won the presidential election, but did so with a popular vote majority, something Republicans have only done twice in the last 9 presidential elections. Beyond that, Democrats have very little power in the U.S. House and Senate, and they've had to watch as President Trump and his allies gleefully work their will across broad swaths of American government and politics. So what are Illinois Democrats doing about all this? Later in the show, we'll hear what party leaders had to say. But first, I wanted to talk with people who are closer to the ground, local Democratic Party activists and organizers from around Illinois. I taped these conversations during a rally at the Illinois State Fair. Because of that, no calls today, but you can always email us, talk@21stshow.org. Again, talk@21stshow.org. All right, let's head to the fair.
How you doing?
Good.
Brian Mackey with Public Radio.
Oh, great.
I'm trying to see your...
Michael Thompson, Hancock County's chair. What's the pressing question that'll make your newscast?
What does it mean to be a Democrat to you in 2025?
It means standing up against the bullies. They're doing everything as evil as possible, as fast as possible, and if we don't really motivate, we're going to lose our democracy. And that's what I'm most worried about, because it's not going to happen, it's happening now. We're already there. And especially this thing in D.C. where they've taken over the police force out there, just a big show of force. And if he brings in the Army, we're really in trouble. And that's I'm afraid, the next step.
What do you think is the most important group of Americans that Democrats are kind of having a hard time reaching right now?
Young people, I think. I think this split in the party, Democrats are good people. They don't want to see our tax dollars going to killing starving children in Gaza. And I think that we lost the last election on that point.
Thank you.
And I don't think unless the Democrats get their act together and come on the right side of history on this, quit taking this AIPAC money, we'll lose the next election too. So I hope somebody of consequence hears this, because that's what me and a lot of my people think. They all take AIPAC money. The Jewish AIPAC is the strongest lobby in Congress. They will primary you, no matter what. People are afraid of them. They're a monster. And until we get all big money out of politics by reversing Citizens United, we're not going to have a non-corrupt government.
Say to you that a lot of voters seem to think that the Republicans and President Trump were more relatable in the last election than the Democrats.
Well, he was playing the populist. I'll bring your prices down. I'll drain the swamp. But if you're stupid enough to not realize that he is the swamp, you go with that populist message. And I can't condemn Fox Radio and Rupert Murdoch enough for continually running a non-stop stream of propaganda, because barely anything they say on there is a provable truth. There's a war on truth, and that is their weapon.
What is the most effective message you've heard from Democrats today?
I'm not really hearing one. Get out and fight. A lot of the good people. I really admire JB for standing up and taking the Texans. Really important. I don't know if it's going to work. I think JB's coming up next at the speaker stand.
Thank you so much.
Nice talking with you.
Turns out it was not Pritzker speaking, but rather Secretary of State Alexei Giannoulias, but we'll get to the party leaders later on. For now, I'm still more interested in what frontline Democrats are thinking about.
My name is Gail Thomas, and I'm from Chicago, and I am with Senator L.G. Sims, and I'm also here representing Chatham Park Village, and I am the president of Chatham Park Village, and we're just proud to be here.
As with most of the people I talked to, I asked her, what does it mean to you to be a Democrat at this time in American history?
I don't want to be anything else but a Democrat at this time in history.
I also asked which voters from her area Democrats are failing to connect with.
Maybe the younger people.
I asked her why she thinks that is.
I'm not exactly sure. I really am not. And I wonder about that because even in our individual community, we have a hard time engaging the younger people. I think they don't really realize the importance of democracy because they haven't lived through that time and that era where they didn't know it. They were born into democracy. So therefore, they just take a lot of things for granted.
She's talking about voting rights, civil rights, so I asked her if she's worried about heading back to that time.
I absolutely do, and I think that that's our current president's trend, and I think he's trying to bring those things back. I think that it's most important that we continue this fight. That's the biggest thing. We cannot give in. We have to really persevere with the fight.
My name is Holly Woodruff. I am a registered nurse in the state of Illinois. I work for the state of Illinois. I am also a member of the Illinois Nurses Association Union. I am the chair of the Political Action Committee for the Illinois Nurses Association.
Consider yourself a Democrat?
I do, yes.
Yeah. Who do you think is the group that Democrats are having the most, trickiness connecting with right now?
Well, I live in Adams County, Illinois, which is right on the Mississippi River, and it overwhelmingly supported the other side.
Quincy, Illinois. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, big time.
Yes. It's really difficult, and I think a lot of it is messaging, absolutely messaging. You can't get anything, we can't penetrate through that bubble of media that is around a lot of people that don't really focus. They're aware, but they're not zeroed in unless it's a presidential election year. There's a lot of disconnect there. We care about the same things. They just don't seem to get that messaging out there. So I keep trying to go to things and get out there and promote what works for us. And Adams County Democrats had Jess Piper come from Missouri. She is the director of the Turn Missouri Blue organization. And she lives in rural Missouri, so she gets it. And she kept putting out there, ground beef is $8 a pound, and that's more than the federal minimum wage. That's a simple message. But if we can get it out there, I think it will make a huge difference in the way people think. That's not sustainable to have ground beef or any kind of meat be that expensive, that you have to work more than an hour to afford it. And 1 pound of ground beef is not going to feed a large family, or a family of 4 even. You're going to need more than that. So I think messaging is huge, and we have to maybe be simple with it and not so divisive and name-calling.
Is there a particular message from a Democrat, either here in Illinois today or just in general, that's resonating or would resonate with your neighbors and coworkers I met?
Really, and I'm probably going way against the grain, but I really love Governor Pritzker. I love his messaging. I think he gets right out there, and I think that overall, the majority, for the base at least, that we need to hear that somebody cares about us and that they're paying attention and they're fighting for us. And he's delivering that message. I think there's a lot that can be gained by that. I don't think that my neighbors totally understand what's what's behind some of the policies. So I try to get out there as much as I can and educate as much as I can, because people know me in my area, but they don't always know. I mean, I don't make any secret about what political party I support. I'm a union member, and so is my husband. So in my little neighborhood, I've just been going out there and talking about it. Ground beef is this. Did you know that? That's ridiculous. I care about that. I care about affordable rent in my neighborhood. My son has 2 friends that are homeless that live in our basement right now with us because it was that or their car. It's not sustainable. There's no affordable housing. Those are issues that we should all care about, whether we're Democrat or Republican. So,
Thank you for your time.
If you're just joining us, it's the 21st show. I'm Brian Mackey. We're listening to a series of conversations I recorded yesterday with Democratic Party activists and organizers from around Illinois. They were gathered in Springfield for Governor's Day at the Illinois State Fair. Later in the show, we'll hear what the governor and other Democratic leaders had to say, but at this point, I'm still interested in asking Democrats why they think their party struggled so much in last year's election.
I'm Kristen Barnett. I was born in Elkhart, but I've lived in Springfield, Illinois for my entire adult life. And I'm here today, partially I'm a school board member, but I'm here to support the Democratic Party as a whole, because that's part of why I ran too, is we gotta get those seats back, and we gotta, get that movement out there, get these people excited to start the work now, because it might be a year away, but that's gonna go like this, and we got a lot of work to do,
Why are you a Democrat in 2024?
I'm a Democrat because mainly because I believe women, I support women, and I think they should have the right to choose to do whatever they feel like with their bodies. But also, I don't think I don't feel like I have hate in my heart to where I could be on the other side, honestly, because at this point I feel like that's what it is the division and the othering, and then just chiseling off more and more parts of the group until everybody's this one group. And eventually it's going to get to where I might be the same skin tone as them, but it's not going to be women, so there's more of us than there are of them if they keep chipping them off, and it's a bunch of great people, so I feel like that's the side to be on. Like, I feel like in this moment being a Democrat is being on the right side of history for things.
What do you think is like maybe the key group or some of the key groups that Democrats are just not connecting with right now?
I mean, I don't really think that we're connecting enough with the youth. And to be honest with you, I wish I could tell you what the right way is. The best thing I can tell is I don't feel like they feel truly heard. Like from what I've heard and experienced from people when I was running and stuff, is the younger people don't feel like there's a point in voting because they don't feel like it matters, or like that the issues that they like are the ones that always end up on the chopping block when it's trying to finish a bill or something. So they just feel undervalued, like they're a talking point during the campaign, but then after that they get ignored. And so I think that if we can get them excited, and I think getting them excited means we have to have some younger candidates, which I'm not saying anything bad about anybody who's doing it long term, but they started young too, so they know, get some new blood in there, because that was something I heard a lot, even just for school board, was we need young blood. So, and if that's what it takes for them to get excited about voting, then I say why not try it.
My name is Tavares Briggs. I'm from the city of Chicago, and I work with State Senator L.G. Sims. He's not only is he the state senator of the 17th district, but he's also a committeeman. So I vice chair his committee.
Again, as with most of the people I talked to, I asked if there are groups of people he thinks Democrats are failing to connect with.
I do. And it's interesting that you asked that. Being a part of the 6th Ward Dems, one of the things that we did, because we look at the stats and the data and the voter turnout and the demographics, and one of the groups, according to one of the surveys that we did, that didn't feel like the Democratic Party was connected with them, was black males. For different reasons. The 6th Ward, predominantly black, Chicago South Side, Donald Trump got quite a few more votes than he got in the past, so that's a number that's growing. So as a part, well, because that segment of men have stated that they don't feel that the party kind of like, it's a disconnect per se for a number of different reasons. whether it be employment, housing, mental health, those elements of things. I think the Democrats do a good job in regards to reaching out and being connected to a number of different groups. African American men is apparently not one. I think Illinois as a state, under this leadership, certain demographics are feeling welcome and supported and encompassing. I'm an educator, so I can see the effects of state laws, and which is all all well. It's great, but I do think the demographic of where I stand, I think that it's area for growth. I would say definitely an area for growth.
An area for growth. All right, thank you to Tabaris Briggs, Kristen Barnett, Holly Woodruff, Gail Thomas, and Michael Thompson for sharing your perspective with me yesterday at Governor's Day at the Illinois State Fair. Coming up after the break, we'll hear what some of the Democratic leaders of Illinois and the United States had to say about their party. This is the 21st show. Stay with us. It's the 21st show. I'm Brian Mackey. Let's get back to our special coverage of Democrats Day in Springfield. The name comes from the daily theme at the Illinois State Fairgrounds, but for Dems, the real action is at a party fundraising breakfast sponsored by the Illinois Democratic County Chairs Association. This year it was at a convention center downtown, the Bank of Springfield Center. Everyone who's anyone in Illinois Democratic politics was here. Governor J.B. Pritzker, of course, and the other constitutional officers. Also our U.S. Senators, Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin, and the candidates who want to succeed Durbin in the Senate. Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, whom we interviewed on Tuesday this week, Congressman Raja Krishnamurti, and Congresswoman Robin Kelly. We're scheduled to interview her next week. The main event, though, this year, and the likely reason the event drew what organizers estimated would be 1,900 people, was a Democratic congressman from New York, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. So for this part of the show, we're going to do a survey of what the Democratic leaders had to say. A reminder that Republicans are holding their annual meeting and fair rally today. We'll bring you coverage of that on tomorrow's show. Okay, first up, Governor J.B. Pritzker, who is seeking a third term next year, and, you may have heard, is considering a run for president.
Well, good morning, Illinois Democrats! So, Illinois Democrats, are you ready to rumble? What an honor it is to join your chair.
Pritzker thanked party leaders, party officials, and then got to the meat of his comments.
Folks, over the last 6 months, it seems like there's always someone who wants to dissect what went wrong for Democrats on the national stage in the 2024 elections. There are books and op-eds and resurrected ghosts of past Democratic campaigns showing up on Fox News and on CNN, Substacks by anyone with a computer and an opinion, tortured monologues across social media and TV. The pity party, the circular firing squad, the think tank brainstorming sessions, they just need to be over. Since the dawn of the Republic, political parties have won and lost elections and then won again, and that's what's going to happen to us in 2026. And what I'll say to those who are wondering what's next for the Democratic Party is this. She's alive and well and stronger than ever and right here living in the great state of Illinois. To the pundits and the critics about what direction the National Democratic Party needs to go, I say, take a look at Illinois Democrats. Yes, winning elections is partly about messaging and strategy, but it's mostly about values and delivering on them. And our values are exactly where they ought to be. So it's time to stop apologizing when we're not wrong. And it's time to stop surrendering when we need to fight. And yes, folks, we are messing with Texas.
These are the themes that would echo throughout the speeches of party leaders. Let's turn now to the three candidates running in the Democratic primary for the U.S. Senate. We begin with Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton. She has struggled in fundraising, which could be an indicator of weaker support, but she has a lot of endorsements, including from Governor J.B. Pritzker, and like most Democrats who spoke at the event, she shared his combative approach.
Donald Trump and Republicans will stop at nothing to drag us backward. Listen, this is not politics as usual. This is a five-alarm fire. Our freedoms are on the line, and the status quo just will not cut it. In the midst of the chaos that's coming out of Washington these past several months, how many of you have said these words? I'm so glad I live in Illinois. It is why the country looks at us as an example, because Illinois is the blueprint. We've protected women's reproductive rights. We've banned assault weapons. We passed the Workers' Rights Amendment. And we enacted nation-leading climate legislation to put us on a path to a clean energy future. That's the bold leadership that I will bring to the United States Senate. If Trump thinks that fear will break us, I've got a message for him. Illinoisans don't scare easy.
Another candidate for Senate who addressed the party faithful was Raja Krishnamurti, a congressman from the northwest suburbs of Chicago. He has a substantial fundraising advantage over both of his opponents.
The question is this before us. What kind of a government do we want? What kind of a government do we want? Do we want one that's there for those fighting to make it? Or one that's there for those who have it made? I know my answer. We always want a government that is trying to cultivate and nourish the American dream for everyone, regardless of whether you're working poor, middle class, growing a business. Are you with me? And regardless of the color of your skin, where you are come from, how you pray, whom you love, or the number of letters in your name, there are 29 in mine. And so now I seek the Democratic nomination for the United States Senate to preserve the American dream from attack by a Trump administration bent on making sure that people are held down and not being able to reach their full potential. I seek your support. I am honored to be here, and I close with my favorite saying. Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift. That's why we call it the present. I am honored and blessed to be with you, to celebrate the IDCCA, to celebrate all of our Democrats, and to celebrate how we are going to make America and the world a better place. Thank you so much, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
The final Senate candidate to speak was Robin Kelly, a congresswoman whose district stretches from the south side of Chicago all the way south to Danville in east central Illinois.
I know that times are tough for too many people, and frankly, they're pissed off. I'm pissed off. But we know Donald Trump and his cronies aren't going anywhere soon. So it is critical that we have leaders who can build and keep strong relations in the House and Senate, that are able to work across the aisle to get things done as long as we don't give up our values, to hit the ground running on day one, and to bring proven and effective leadership to the Senate. But what can you do? I ask you, please don't grow weary. That's what they want you to do. They want you to get lost in the chaos, but we don't have time for anyone to be on the sidelines. We may be fighting with one arm behind our back, but as I say, I'm fighting till this arm falls off and I'm gonna start kicking. But I need all of you to start kicking with me. People have said so many times, Robin's too nice, Robin's too nice. I am nice. I'm a very nice person. But believe me, I am a fighter. And those who I've fought, they know I'm a fighter. I'm not afraid to show up, speak up, or stand up if it means doing the right thing, no matter who the bully is. But this moment demands more than just fighting. This moment needs a leader who can achieve real results, and I have done just that. I am a workhorse. I am not a show horse, and that's what we need in the Senate. So let's do this, Illinois. We are all in this together. Let's move our state and country forward. And as the late, great John Lewis said, it's time to get into really good trouble. Really good trouble. So let's do it.
The final speaker of the Democratic brunch, the one who probably had the most to do with selling those 1,900 tickets, it was Hakeem Jeffries, minority leader in the U.S. House of Representatives.
Donald Trump is pretending as if he cares about public safety in Washington, D.C. I have a message for him and the American people. The biggest crime scene that hurts everyday Americans in Washington, D.C. right now is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. That's the crime scene that we need to clean up on behalf of you and the American people. Situation just as bad in the House of Representatives. This is no longer the party of John McCain. It's not the party of Mitt Romney, not the party of Bob Dole. Many of us in the delegation, we served with Speaker John Boehner, Speaker Paul Ryan. They were deeply conservative men, disagreed with them on a whole host of issues. But it's not the party of those individuals. They also cared about the institution. They cared about the American way of life. They cared about our democracy, disagreed with them on a whole host of issues. But it's not the party of John McCain, John Boehner, or Paul Ryan. It's the party of Marjorie Taylor Greene, Lauren Boebert, Jim Jordan, and Mary Miller. I mean, who knew I would miss John Boehner and Paul Ryan so much?
All right, at this point, I feel compelled to disclose that I do have to do a little editing on Leader Jeffries' speech. He talked for about 30 minutes. We do not have that much time left on the program today, so we're going to hear two more excerpts, some of his more elaborate rhetorical flourishes as he was trying to get the crowd of Democrats fired up for what's ahead.
As Democrats, we believe in rewarding hard work, that when you work hard and play by the rules, you should be able to live a comfortable life, live the good life. Can I break that down for you? Good paying job, good housing, good health care, a good education for your children, and a good retirement. Live the good life. Good housing, good paying job, good health care, good education for your children, and a good retirement, which means as Democrats, we're going to continue to stand up and make clear to our Republican colleagues, keep your hands off the Social Security and the Medicare of the American people. Those aren't entitlement programs, those are earned benefits. You work hard for those benefits. You deserve those benefits. You've earned those benefits, and we're going to protect those benefits. Hands off. Hands off today, hands off tomorrow, hands off this week, hands off next week, hands off this month, hands off next month, hands off this year, hands off next year. Keep your hands off of Social Security and Medicare always and forever. That's the Democratic Party position. I approve that message. Stand up and show up and speak up for what is right. And I'm very clear about things. They want us to step back but we're here to fight back for an America that is the best version of herself. The Democratic Party is not the minority party. We are the opposition party fighting for a better America, even in the midst of all of the challenges. They want to cancel our history so we don't learn from our history. But we can learn a lot from the resilience that so many people have showed of every race. We saw this during the civil rights movement, which of course started when Rosa Parks sat down on that bus in Montgomery, Alabama. She sat down so that everybody else could stand up. And it started the civil rights movement during a very tough time. And in those early days of the civil rights movement, those first few months, they were under significant oppression. Dr. King, Rosa Parks, so many others, people of different races, of different religions who flocked down south. They were arrested, they were prosecuted, they were detained. Some thought it hopeless that change was possible. And during those early days of the civil rights movement, Dr. King famously, a few months after it started, came to a church, the Concord Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York. And he knew that some people were discouraged, and so he said to them that they've got to keep pressing on. He said, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But press on and keep pressing. And at this moment in time, Illinois Democrats, that's our charge. We've got to press on. Press on for our children, press on for our seniors, press on for our veterans, press on for our farmers, press on for our unions, press on for our dreamers, press on for working class folks, press on for the middle class, press on for the poor, press on for the sick, press on for the afflicted, press on for the least, press on for the lost, press on for the left behind, press on for economic justice, press on for social justice, press on for racial justice, press on for civil rights, press on for voting rights, press on for reproductive freedom, press on until we take back control of the House of Representatives, press on for our democracy. We will press on as Democrats until victory is won. God bless you. God bless the Illinois Democratic Party and the County Chairs Association, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Press on until victory is won.
Hakeem Jeffries, Democratic leader of the United States House of Representatives. As some of the other Democrats who spoke yesterday said, the speaker in waiting should Democrats ever regain control of the House. That's it for our coverage of Governor's Day and the Democratic Party at the Illinois State Fair. Again, we are planning to bring you coverage of the Republican political events, which are happening today. That's on tomorrow's program. Coming up after the break, our newest fellow Americans. This is the 21st show. Stay with us.